Reverend Kim Polcho here from the Streams YouTube channel from Marshfield United Methodist Church here in Marshfield, Missouri, where it has been raining for the past few days, and the town is actually kind of a marsh field right now. I suspect, but don't quote me on this, that's how the town got its name. It's very marshy, very, very marshy when it rains. You don't have to worry about the rain because you can see us anytime on YouTube. Today's service is featuring Jacque Cook. She's the co-pastor of the Disciples of Christ Church in town, Marshfield Christian Church, and we often partner with them in ministries. So she's going to be preaching because I had the stomach flu, and the week before that, I was in Texas for a wedding, so I haven't been on YouTube in a while, but I'll be back next week, and you can see me here today. Anytime you want to worship, we're here for you, and we're going to bring some new content your way, new Bible studies. I hope you have a great week and that at some point it stops raining or we may have to build boats. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Streams.
Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light.
It's really good to be here today, and I'm glad to be here. We do a lot as churches together. If you've ever been to Theology Night, that's a co-venture with the Disciples of Christ and with the Methodist Church. If you haven't come, you need to come sometime. It's very interesting. And we have appreciated learning from other people, perhaps a different way to look at things. We get so focused sometimes on how we see things, and it's always good to know there are other people that maybe see the world like you do. I will also say that sometimes as a church, we don't know the influence that we have or who comes in our doors. And I learned just yesterday that when my daughter was struggling with her call to be a pastor, going to a church that did not recognize women pastors, she came and visited your church many years ago, and you were able to help support her, that she knew it was okay to follow that calling. She is going to school to be a Lutheran pastor in Sweden. So I want to read the verse one more time. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Different words can mean different things to different people, and in different times perhaps meant different things. It's probably still used in the sewing world today, although I am not up on my skills, but in the 19th century, you used to wear a yoke, which was a piece of material that went over your shoulders or around the bodice to make a skirt so that you could sew things on it that were maybe larger and like pleats in a skirt. But that's not the yoke we're talking about. If you're an exercise guru, you may know what a yoke is in exercise. It's usually 2 bars with another bar on top, and they load weights on it. So you're trying to push this weight, and it's what you use in training for an Ironman or a strongman competition. That's not what we're talking about either. In the Bible, the word yoke is zygos, and usually it is a wooden cross piece used to harness animals, often oxen, together to pull a plow or a cart. But it was also used metaphorically to represent oppression, servitude, the weight of a task or obligation. And the Pharisees at the time often talked about the yoke of the law. Now, we live in a rural area, in a farming area, so you probably have a vision of what it looks for 2 oxen to be tied together and yoked together. They say one ox can carry about 5,000 pounds, but two pulling together can do about 15,000 pounds, because the yoke distributes the weight equally, and it helps to pull it. However, generally an older ox is paired with a younger ox, so that the younger ox learns the trade. What is going on? The younger one learns to walk in rhythm with the older ox. He learns when to stop. He learns when to go. It makes plowing the field much, much, much easier. They learn from each other as they go. It can be an impossible task, but each of the ox work in relationship to each other. But it's just not the two oxen working together. You also have the farmer, and you have the land, and it takes a relationship of all those things to make the field work. But I find it a little ironic that Jesus said, "Come to me, all you are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And then turns around and says, "Here's my yoke." I don't know about you, but when I'm bogged down with things in my spirit or in my life, I don't want a lighter burden. I want no burden. I want to be free. I want to be able to dance like that new calf that has been kept in a hutch for as you wean it. And when you wean them, you turn them into the fields, and they jump and they prance and they laugh. Well, maybe cattle don't laugh, but they're free, and that's what I want. I don't want something else on my shoulders. Sometimes when I'm studying, I like to read the verses in another translation. And this one will be from Matthew 11:28-30, as Eugene Peterson wrote it in the Message. Are you tired? Worn out? Burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me. Work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace, for I won't lay anything heavier or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. I hear the words of Jesus just a little bit different in this translation, because I hear the acknowledgement that I get weary and that I get tired and that we all get burned out from time to time. And I hear Christ urging me to come and learn what living really is about. Because Christ offers us a different way, not a way of following the rules per se, the guidelines that have been set up for us by others. But Christ offers us a way and promises to lighten the load that our souls carry. Christ offers us a different way of living that offers a song for our souls to dance with amidst our daily grind. And he offers this by learning from Christ how to live, walking in conjunction with Christ at your side. And we do that learning the unforced rhythms of grace. But what does unforced rhythms of grace really mean? I think we inherently kind of know what rhythm is. My day has a rhythm every day. I get up, I get ready, I go to bed, I go to work, and then I go to bed. And if something breaks that rhythm, it can be hard to get back into the rhythm. If you've ever stayed in the hospital has rhythms. You can feel the change of the rhythm throughout the day, and each day, although it's different, is very much the same. And even at my work, I can hear and feel how the rhythm changes It starts out slow and quiet and builds to this crescendo and then back down at the end of the day. We know what it means to have rhythm, for it is the rhythm of the spinning world on its axis and the world turning around the sun that brings us day and night. Our circadian rhythms are governed by the moon and the sun. Our sleep, wake, hormonal, and body temperatures are regulated. Because of that rotation, each bird communicates through its own rhythmic song, from the crow to the rooster and the thrills of the robins. Frogs croak at night. And the ocean tides are caused by gravitational forces that are extended on the water to bring high tide and low tides. How about 4 o'clocks? Does anybody have 4 o'clocks at home? They only open in the evening, no matter how much you try to get them to open earlier. And these are the natural rhythms of our world that sometimes in our rush we miss. These are the rhythms of healing, the rhythms that speak to our souls deeply and miraculously. And sometimes we need to get away from everything and just sit outdoors and feel the rhythm of God that we are a part of, to focus on God. And just as we see rhythm in nature, the world of music is also filled with rhythm. Rhythm in music exists in many different forms, from the beating of an African tribal drum to a 3-count waltz. Music is filled with rhythm, and each piece is unique. The rhythm of music permeates who we are, and we begin to move with the rhythm and with others that also hear the music. Although I did notice this is not a Black church, because in our opening hymn or song, not very many of you were going with the rhythm. There was a few, and a few toe taps. But if you allow yourself to enter into the music, we move with it. It is natural. It becomes a part of the rhythm of what's going on around us. Music excites us, but it can also calm us. And it touches our soul deeply and miraculously in a way that words cannot. Music can bring healing to wounded souls. Sometimes after working a tough shift in the emergency room, trying to process all the tragedies I had seen of the day, I would go home and I would put on some music and I would dance. For it was the movement to the rhythm of the music that helped my soul release the burdens from that shift. But I have learned you can't dance the steps of a waltz to the music of a square dance or to a line dance. You have to dance to the type of music you're listening to. It doesn't work otherwise. The way you dance is different, the rhythms are different, and to be in sync, you have to dance to that type of music. Now, I'm not a big Facebook person. I feel like it wastes a lot of my time, but that's just me. My husband loves Facebook, and I can partially not be on Facebook because he is, so he tells me all the stuff I don't need to know. But when I get on Facebook, do you ever get those reels on your feed? And you notice that you get the same ones over and over and over. And probably because I've watched a few of them, those are the ones that show up on my reel. And there's this one where there's 2 people that come together. Supposedly they don't know each other and they're in a dancing contest. And they get a piece of music that they have no idea what's coming to. And they meet in the middle, and what you first see them do as the music's playing, they're kind of trying to feel the rhythm, hoping they know the song that's played. And then they look at each other, and they hold hands, and they start dancing. And they enter into the music. And somehow, one person will do this and the other person knows how to do that, and then somebody else will do this, and they learn to dance this routine. They never talk. The whole dance, there is communication without words. I think in these verses, God invites us, through God's grace, to step into a new rhythm that aligns us with the heartbeat of God. Let me be clear. The rhythm of grace is not about practicing religion, following a set of rules, or even marking off the to-do list of saints. But the rhythm of grace is about relationship. It's not about doing more or working more effectively. It's not about adding more to your plate. It's about our focus. It's about focusing on God and God's mission, whether that's the field or the dance, and how we dance or pull with Christ and with one another to accomplish that. Because it can only be done in relationship. We put a lot of our energy into trying to figure things out. A lot of you are studied and intellectual things, and I enjoy studying as well. But God is much more than those things that we study. We have to learn ways to plow the ground together. We have to learn from each other in Christ when to speed up and when to slow down. And we learn to rest in God's loving grace. And when we stumble, because you know we will, God's grace is there to pick us up. And when we want to go right or left, and God is leading us straight ahead, God's grace helps get us back on track. Because you see, it's not a dance of perfection, it's a dance of progression. Someone once said, the rhythm of grace is not a solo performance, but a symphony of a community. You see, we need one another to stay in tune, to encourage, to correct, and to celebrate. Together, we become the chorus of hope, a testament to the transforming power of Christ. Community is the tuning fork, keeping us in harmony with God and with each other. So when the daily patterns of life become heavy and exhausting, look where your focus is. Because life situations aren't going to change overnight. We don't have the luxury of throwing everything in our life that weighs heavy on our shoulders. Grief, sadness, caring for a loved one, working from paycheck to paycheck, questioning who God is, those don't just go away overnight. But sometimes we learn a new way to deal with those pressures by letting Christ carry those heavy things with us and by focusing on God and God's mission in our lives. God's mission and God's grace is not heavy. It is light. It is wonderful. It can be exhausting, but it's a good kind of exhaustion. That kind of exhaustion that you worked all day, you sleep really well at night. I think that's what God is like. My wish for you today as individuals, as this church, as the church, is to find the melody of God in your life and to learn to dance with that unforced rhythm of God's grace. You may be dancing a waltz, a line dance, or a square dance, but you have to dance to your music, the music that God gives you, And when we all dance to those rhythms, we come together with our strengths and our weaknesses to make the church of God. God's grace is a grace that accepts us just as we all are, with our faults, our strengths, our doubts, our experiences. A love, a grace, a peace that is greater than anything we can understand with our brains, but maybe we understand it just a little bit in here. So my wish for you is to dance with God as we work together to accomplish God's mission and God's vision in our world. I hope we dance together.
He became sin, who knew no sin, that we might become his righteousness. He humbled himself and carried the cross. Love so amazing, love so amazing, Jesus Messiah. Name above all names, blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel, the rescue for sinners, the ransom from heaven, Jesus Messiah, Lord of all. His body the bread, his blood the wine, broken and poured out, all for love. The whole earth trembled and the veil was torn. Love so amazing, love so amazing, Jesus Messiah, the name above all names, blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel, the rescue for sinners, the ransom from heaven, Jesus Messiah, Lord of all. All our hope is in you. All our hope is in you. All the glory to you, God, the light of the world, Jesus Messiah, name above all names, blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel, the rescue for sinners, the ransom from heaven, Jesus Messiah, Lord of all, Jesus Messiah.